Tom Hanks' profession of faith is fascinating. And I got a clip at the end of this video that will kind of give you some perspective on how awkward some of this is for him as we go deeper into this process. Now, I'm a 90s baby. I was born in the 80s, but raised in the 90s. And my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies in the 90s, was a movie called Forrest Gump. I loved the depth of character. I loved that it covered multiple decades of time. And Tom Hanks, of course, completely crushed it. Later on, with the birth of my second child, Zoe, we were at the hospital, and I remember watching another Tom Hanks movie that completely blew my mind and was extremely well executed. It was when he played Mr. Rogers. A beautiful film about a beautiful person who was also a follower of Jesus, Mr. Rogers, and his desire to encourage kids and help them build confidence and so on and so forth. So when I came across the story of Tom Hanks's perspective on faith and all of these different things, I found it extremely fascinating. So we're going to jump into this first article. This is from belief.net, and this is him talking about his experience with religion. He says, the major religion I was exposed to in the first 10 years of my life was Catholicism. My stepmother became a Mormon. My aunt, who I lived with for a long time, was a Nazarene, which is kind of an ultra-Methodist. And in high school, all my friends were Jews. Talk about having a diverse experience and friend group. This is a very interesting upbringing. Catholic, Mormon, Nazarene, primarily surrounded with Jewish friends. Right? He says, for years, I went to Wednesday night Bible studies with my church group. So I had this patriotic overview of various faiths. And the one thing I got from that was the intellectual pursuit involved. I'm glad that he's not compartmentalizing intellect with faith here. I think that's an awesome point that he makes. There was a lot of great stuff to think about, he said, in an interview published in George magazine. Tom later joined the Greek Orthodox Church when he married Rita Wilson in 1988 and found a home there. Okay, so we're all keeping up. Catholic, stepmom is Mormon, aunt is Nazarene, friends are Jewish, and he becomes Greek Orthodox. Okay, now if you guys don't know, there's basically four main arms of Christianity today. You have the Universal Church initially, and at around the year 500, the Universal Church or the Catholic Church, and the Oriental Orthodox Church, not Oriental as in Asian, just meaning Eastern. That split happens at around 500. And then at around the year 1000, the Great Schism happens, which is where there's another split and the Eastern Orthodox splits. And then, of course, around the year 1500 is when Martin Luther leads the Reformation and we get the Protestant Reformation. Okay, so he joins the Greek Orthodox Church. This is the church that split off from the Catholic Church at the year 1000. And it's similar to Catholicism in that it's liturgical, but it doesn't adhere to the Pope or any of that sort of stuff. Okay, so he says when he married Rita Wilson in 1988 and found a home there, he has shared that he enjoys being Orthodox. Shout out to all my Orthodox folks, because the atmosphere helps him meditate and reflect on bigger life questions. This is where his faith really matured. The Orthodox tradition is very interesting in that there is a lot of reverence and atmosphere and experience and ritual. Okay, it's not quite Catholic, but it's definitely more along that spectrum. When it comes to his personal views on God, Tom believes his relationship with God is a very personal matter. The way he was raised likely has a lot to do with his beliefs. My parents divorced so often that I've seen a lot of different sort of religion down the line. My wife is Greek Orthodox, and I've been converted. Okay, so he doesn't just go to church occasionally. He's full on owning that he has been converted, that he was something else before this, and he's officially converted to being a Greek Orthodox Christian. My kids have been baptized in the same font in which she was baptized at our cathedral in town. But I still believe, and this is the part where I'm a bit confused here. He says, but I still believe in being able to leave the heavens to those who want to interpret the heavens as they seem.
You guys think I'm stupid? I'm not stupid, guys. I know this.
I'm not really sure what he means there. I think that's, is he saying everybody kind of can have their own way and do their own thing. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to make of that statement, okay? But he says he leaves the heavens to be interpreted. No clue what that means, okay? Here's another article where he kind of goes in depth on this even more. The church does feed the poor, which is true. Christian churches in general, do the most philanthropy. Oh my goodness, these ads are killing me. Do the most philanthropy out of any demographic of people, okay? And so he is absolutely correct about that, okay? I feel like this article is just bogged down with ads. Okay, the church does feed the poor, does take care of the hungry, it heals the sick. I think that the grace of God seems to be not only in the eye of the believer, but also in the hand of the believer. It's a very cool way to put it. He says these days, he still ponders the big questions while raising a family with the Greek Orthodox wife, actress Rita Wilson. So here it says his wife is Greek Orthodox. Before he said he's converted. I'm not really sure what to make of all of it. He says miracles are everywhere in our daily life, and it's in the mystery of it all that continues to haunt him. I must say that when I go to church, and I do go to church, I ponder the mystery. I meditate on why people are as they are, why bad things happen to good people, and why good things happen to bad people. The mystery is what I think is almost the grand unifying theory of all mankind. Now, before we look at another clip of him and his wife kind of engaging and kind of awkward and funny, I got to show you guys something.
Hey, you want to see something crazy? Over 51% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. And the ones that are subscribed, only 10% have their bell notification on. So do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notification on so you don't miss anything we have going here. All right? I appreciate you.
So Tom Hanks talks about the mystery with regards to suffering, specifically why bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. And I think there's a couple things I would point out here. I think for starters is if we're looking at scripture, there's not a lot of good people. There's actually only one good person, one perfect person. His name was Jesus. And Jesus said that people are evil. When he was engaging with some people, he said, you who are evil know how to give good gifts. How much more will your heavenly Father who is in heaven? So if we look at all the scriptures don't paint a very high view of people in general, but I will say that if we're trying to make sense of suffering, if we're trying to make sense of why do bad things happen, we don't have to look much further than the cross. When the worst thing of all time, the most tragic thing of all time happened to the greatest person of all time, which is Jesus Christ going to the cross. And I'm sure that the apostles at the time could not make sense of why it was happening, what was going on, what was the point. Very confusing, disorienting for them because remember, they were expecting a Messiah figure that was going to reign in a political and military kingdom. And instead, Jesus came as the Lamb. He is returning as the Lion. He will establish the new kingdom and a new earth, but that was very confusing and disillusioned for the apostles, right? And many people still say, well, Jesus was supposed to come back in their lifetime and yada, 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 misreading what the actual gospel is, which is God first dealt with the forgiveness of sins and then is dealing with all the other stuff when he comes back the second time. So I think it's important for us to point that out, for us to have context of that. Now check this out. This is an interview with him and his wife. I believe they're on the red carpet somewhere. It says Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson talk about the power of prayer in God. Now watch closely to Tom's body language here because this is pretty hilarious.
I pray every day. I'm Greek Orthodox. I pray every day. My children pray. I pray with them. I pray by myself. We go to church. We try to live a good, clean, healthy life. And
he's like, she's going for it, man. She's going for it. The look on his face is I'm not sure if he's like happy that she's sharing all of this or if he's like, I don't know how Hollywood's going to feel about this. But she's just going for it. She's sharing where she's at. She's sharing her prayer time, all these sorts of things. And he seems a bit bewildered, if I'm honest with you.
It helps. Thank you. God is a part of my life. Every single day I pray to God every day for I don't know how many years that
he has a little smirk on his face.
He would bring me somebody that I loved, that loved me in the same way, and he brought me Tom. So I believe in that.
God is mysterious, over here, but God works every day.
I pray every day. I'm Greek Orthodox. I pray every day.
God is mysterious. God works every day. That is how he ends it. And listen, I'm not sure what to make of all this. I'm not sure where he is on his personal journey. But I do find it interesting that he was open and frank enough to share these specific aspects of his faith and his worldview, even though he still leaves a whole lot up to mystery and people finding their own heavens or whatever that meant. The fact that he's willing to be open about going to church, open about being converted, open about the benefits of it, I think is a very net positive in terms of this conversation. His wife definitely seems way more bold in her profession of faith, but I found this entire thing interesting. And if you want to hear another interesting story where Matthew McConaughey went on Joe Rogan and shared his faith and how there are people in Hollywood that he has prayed with repeatedly, yet when he wins awards and thanks God, they're afraid to clap. We'll have this pinned over here. If you want to go the extra mile, help partner with us for only $5 a month in our online community. Less than 1% who watch actually partner. If we can get to 1%, it will change everything. Consider partnering over here. I'll see you over there. Peace.